Okay, the sound is on. Sound is on.
Sound is on. What's everybody doing? Eddie Heckman wants to know what Andrea is doing today.
Okay. Sound is good.
Sound is good. Good morning, everybody. I could say welcome aboard. John Garofalo has made his appearance. How do you do, baby? It's been a while. Nice to see Johnny Boy. And nice to see Amazing Met fan, Chris Gallo, Eddie Heckman, Laura, Roto Lady, Timothy, my hooker. Goodness gracious, look who's in the chat room already. We got a lot of stuff, okay? Guest baseball business. Anybody know who that is? I saw him here last night, and I did not understand who he was. But anyway, today we're going to try to do something a little different because I know a lot of you guys have drafts over the weekend, right? A lot of you guys have drafts coming up. Some of you have already had them. And, of course, we talked yesterday about having the drafts a little closer to the season to prevent teams who lose big players and wind up drafting like a Garrett Cole or something like that, you know. So you want to try, but you can't limit that, you know. But you want to try to do that as best as you can. But if you can't, you're drafting tomorrow. And what I'm going to do today, we're not going to go over any of the games. We're not going to. What we're going to do is, after I give you a couple of notes that are pretty important, you got some players, and it's time to do some players and their predictions and stuff like that. Okay, so let's take a look at that. And we're going to go position by position. Now, I'm not going to tell you that, now look, projections. 99% of the projections that you see are guesses. I mean, guesses. And some of them are good guesses. Some of them are guesses worked on. What do you call those kind of guesses worked on? Anyway, some of them, and others are just guesses. Some people just take last year's numbers and tweak them depending upon how they feel about a player. That's a guess. A lot of people take the last 3 years and tweak the numbers depending upon how you're feeling. That's a guess. A lot of people take the numbers and spring training makes a difference, believe it or not, okay? But that's a guess, okay? And I do the same thing. Basically, every one of the projections that you see is a guess. Now, what I try to do that's a little different is this, okay? And it's a lot different. Yeah, mine are guesses also. Let's face it, nobody knows. We're all guessing. But in addition to the homework that I do every single day, and you know about that, in addition to that, I listen to the radio. In addition to listening to the radio, I look at the newspapers. And one of the great things that I do that very few others do, and I recommend that people do it, but it gives me some information about the players that very few others have. And that is, I read the out-of-town newspapers. And I'll tell you, I'll go on RotoWire. There you go. There's the boys at RotoWire. Okay, Jeff Erickson and everybody. RotoWire has a section called Local Papers. And I read it every day. I click on the team. It brings me right to the baseball section of their newspaper. And there are little things that I find. Same thing when I listen to the radio, or I've been friends with a lot of people over the years around the country. People listen to the radio in Detroit and Cleveland and all, and they get little tidbits, and they write them down and they let me know. They listen to the games. They watch the games, and they talk about a change in a batting stance. They talk about somebody who went to a special academy. I forget the name of all these things, but still, these are some of the things. if a player seriously has not performed on a particular pitch, he's that's going to get around. So I put all these things together. So it's a little bit. Let's put it this way. Here's the word I was looking for: an educated guess. All right. So an educated guess is what I do. I put those other things in that very few people do. And let's see what happens. I'll go position by position. Not going to give you. I'm just going to tell you who I think might be different. A little different. All right. There's too many players to talk about in one episode, but we'll talk about it. We'll see. Position by position. Now, Chan, all right. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I got a question for you, but I'll leave. The Chicago White Sox traded Dylan Cease and Michael Kopech is being moved to the bullpen. Okay. And they're discussing the possibility of bringing back free agent starter Mike Clevenger. Clevenger was their most consistent starter last year. He had a 3.77 ERA, okay? And he was 9-9. And, of course, the Braves have told Jarred Kelenic he will platoon with Adam Duvall. So the Braves have told that to happen, and it's just great. Now, here's a question for you guys, okay? Here's a question to get people going. Name the first ever player, okay, who pitched for from South Korea, who pitched for the Dodgers and the Padres, okay? Name the only South Korean who pitched for both. Well, he was the first. There were others. But who was the first South Korean? This is not an easy one, okay? The first South Korean who played for the Dodgers and the Padres. And, of course, the Dodgers and the play in South Korea this weekend, okay? Now, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, and Luis Castillo. They're all on the Mariners, and that's why people think the Mariners may have a good team this year. They had 3 of the top 10 qualified starting pitchers in WHIP in 2023. They were the 9th team with 3 of the top 10 in a season since the mound was lowered in 1969. Okay, there you go. How about that one? All right. Let me ask you a question in the chat room again. So who is that player, the South Korean? Anybody want to give it a shot? Come on, everybody's quiet right now. Not Hun Chin-Roo. Not Hideki Nomu. No. Okay. The player that was from South Korea. Okay. There you go. Amazing Met fan who just showed up. It's... Wait a second. Let me just take a look and make sure I'm right. Okay. It is Chan Ho Park. Nice going, kid. Amazing Met fan gets it, and nice to see it. That's the premieres there. Amazing Met fan is there. How about that, Chan Ho Park? Andy, how come you didn't take a guess?
I don't know.
Okay, now, Shota Imanaga, who's faced 41 batters this season, this spring. He struck out 19. So who do you like better, Yamamoto or Imanaga? Who do you like better in the chat room, okay? Yamamoto or Aranaga, all right? Understanding that Imanaga has faced 41 batters and struck out 19. Yamamoto is scheduled to start the Dodgers' second game, okay, against the Padres on March 21st, okay, against the Padres in South Korea. Manager Dave Roberts had previously announced earlier in the spring that Yamamoto and Tyler Glasnow would both pick starts during the 2-game set in Seoul, but Glasnow will end up drawing opening day assignment, while Yamamoto will take the hill for Game 2, matching up against Joe Musgrove. So don't forget, the season starts a little early. Imanaga allowed 3 runs, 3 hits. So who's better? Who are you going to take? If you have a chance to take a pitcher, there you go. Johnny Garofalo, Yamamoto. White Sox Al says Yamamoto. All right, we got all Yamamoto guys. But I'll tell you, it's not that simple. That's based on his records, but so far in the spring, Imanaga allowed 3 runs, 3 hits. Saturday, I got to tell you, struck out 5. Outside of a 3-run homer, he looked pretty good in his first start of the spring in his new team. He struck out half the batters he faced. The lefties expected to be in the top of the rotation with the Cubs. So there you go. Okay, that takes care of that. All right, let's get to the stuff now. Okay, Garrett Cole sidelined. Of course, Marcus Stroman, a logical candidate to take the mound for the season opener. However, look, I've never heard this before. Marcus Stroman surprised many by declining the prestigious opportunity to take the mound for the season opener. What the heck is that all about? How could any pitcher decline to take the mound for the season opener? Anybody think Stroman's a pick? Based on this alone, I would lay off on Marcus Stroman. Okay, absolutely. Okay, so they approached Stroman about assuming the role of opening day starter. Stroman expressed a preference for maintaining his current pitching schedule. That would see him start March 30th against the Astros. Okay? Wow. He prioritized sticking to his routine, the importance of every day in spring training. His decision underscores his dedication to preparation and consistency. Unfortunately, during the course of the season, things happen that make the season inconsistent. So his focus remains on being consistent. Out of contention for opening day. Manager Boone has announced that Carlos Rodon as the second starter. The Yankees are in trouble, okay? They got Nestor Cortez, Clark Schmidt. Wow. Cortez emerges as the potential candidate for opening day, despite the fact that he just really is not doing well. And I don't understand how the Yankees and the Mets could be considered contenders. I don't get it. The Yankees just don't have the pitching. And it's a good possibility that Judge and Cole are going to be sidelined. I know Judge says it's okay, but you've heard that so many times. Speculation mounts regarding Cole's injury. Stroman remains focused on the bigger picture. The Yankees will navigate I'll tell you what, the Yankees looking for an opening day starter. Tommy Edmonds' availability for opening day is in doubt. The Cardinals confirmed Thursday they expected Edmonds to open the season on the injured list, and that we didn't talk about before. So they expect him to open up it's still not clear whether Lars Nootbaar, who's been slowed by a pair of fractures, will be cleared for opening day. Just trying to give you an idea of what's going on so you know how to set your lineups. The Braves announced Thursday that they re-signed Adam Duvall. We talked about that. Jarred Kelenic is scheduled to move in there. And, of course, as I mentioned earlier, the White Sox moving starter Michael Kopech to the bullpen. How about that to begin the 2024 season? Many of us liked Michael Kopech when he first came up. Is anybody still, all right, any Snell and Montgomery update? I'll give you that. They're both doing nothing. There's no update. Hello on Friday. No update because every team is in on Snell. Every team is in on Montgomery. What I don't understand is how the Yankees don't sign Montgomery. Snell's a different. I think Snell has definitely outpriced himself. Montgomery proved himself last year with the Yankees, and it's mind-boggling. So the Yankees will have to do something, and I think it's going to be Montgomery, okay? That's the latest on those two, but I thought the Giants would pick him up. The Giants saved a lot of money this year. They had a couple of injuries, and they have no pitchers and the whole thing. Everything is screwed up, okay? So let's see what happens with the Giants. Okay, let's get to what I planned on doing today, and that is the projections. Projections team by position by position. In your fantasy draft, you'll notice that projections are pretty important, okay? Because it gives you an idea of what to expect. Now, you take a look at first base. First base may be the shallowest of all positions. First base could be very shallow. You got that? Freddie Freeman, Matt Olson. Let's put Bryce Harper at first base. Freddie Freeman, first of all, is just not gonna. He's with the Dodgers now. I think his numbers are going to be way down. Way down. I wouldn't.
Why, Leonard?
Why? Because he's with a new team. It's a whole.
With the Dodgers.
All right, Andrea, please. Okay, please. What?
He's been with the Dodgers for 3 years.
I know that, but still, Freddie Freeman. He's getting up there in age. If you'll notice, my projections have a lot to do with the age of the players, okay? And I think Freddie Freeman's getting up there. He's still a good player, okay? No question. I think he'll play about 140 games. And I don't think he's going to hit a lot of home runs. I think he'll hit about 25 home runs. That's not bad. I think he'll bat, but his batting average is not going to be like it was in Atlanta. His batting average is going to be about 290. Matt Olson, on the other hand, he's liable to hit 35 home runs. So you got Freeman, Olson, Harper. I'm putting Vlad in the top category. And I'll put Pete Alonso in there. Alonso, I was going to hit about 35 home runs. Okay? He's going to knock in about... These are my projections. I worked on these for a long time, okay? And absolutely. And what are you laughing at? Alonso's going to get you about 105 RBIs. Tristan Casas, for those of you looking at him, nobody knows what to make of this guy. Tristan Casas, 25 home runs. Okay, 25 home runs for Casas. He'll knock in about 80 runs. That's it. Now, Spencer Steer for Cincinnati, who's not nearly as expensive as Tristan Casas, because people don't know. Steer has gotten buried with so many other players. Spencer Steer is going to hit you about... Spencer Steer is going to hit you. He's not going to hit high. He'll hit about 265, 270. He's going to hit you home runs, 23 home runs, same as Casas. He'll get you about 80 RBI, same as Casas, and the same thing. The kid that should be in the mix, but is a little behind Tristan Casas and Spencer Steer, is Nolan Shanuel from the Angels. Now, a lot's been talked about him, but don't spend too much money. He's going to hit you about 18 to 20 homers. He's going to get you about 60. Now, with this in mind, the best first baseman, you got Freeman, Olson, Harper, Guerrero, and Torkelson predicted to hit about 30 home runs. I disagree. I think Torkelson is going to get you about 25 home runs. And, here I'm talking. 30 home runs, 25 home runs. It's all pretty close. But the key here, Freeman, Olson, Harper, Guerrero, and after that, those guys are going to go pretty quick, okay, for the four first basemen, and that means that the rest of the first basemen, wow, big-time question marks. So you're able to wait on the first baseman. You don't have to take a first baseman very quickly. Normally we do. I predict Bellinger's going to hit about 20 homers. And of course, I don't know about that, but Yandy Diaz is going to hit you about 15 homers. He's going to bat about 280. Christian Encarnacion's going to be a player that fits right in. But the player that Paul Goldschmidt. Now, Goldschmidt with St. Louis. This is going to be a tough one. Paul Goldschmidt, I think, is on the rapid decline, okay? Rapid decline for Paul Goldschmidt. Now, Goldschmidt, in my opinion, is going to hit you, He's going to bat about 260. That's it. Goldschmidt, you'll see, he's going to suffer big time. He's going to hit you 18 to 20 home runs. So take Paul Goldschmidt out of the top first baseman. Again, These are my predictions, my stuff. Triple Play is there. Kenny Flammia is here. Johnny Garofalo, how you doing again? All right, Kenny Flammia. Triple Play has a question. Yeah, Christian Walker. I'm telling you, he's the guy. He's going to hit you about 250 to 260, and he's going to hit you about 21, 23 home runs. Okay? I'm sorry. Christian Walker, yeah, something like that. Between 20 and 25 home runs. So Christian Walker's right there. And for the money that you're going to save, I would absolutely go for Christian Walker. Okay? He would be my pick, and I've said this many times. May Nick is here. Triple Play has pick one in the Dynasty League, drafting Austin Riley. Allows me to trade Machado. May Nick needs to beware the ideas of the Ides of March, okay? Anyway, who to take with the second pick in the redraft, okay? We'll have to see about that. All right, anybody who want to help out by answering these questions? Now, if you have another question about a specific player, I'm not going to cover everybody. 631-406-7141. Two more players at first base. Ryan Mountcastle, I've been getting him on a lot of drafts. Mountcastle's going to be a very underrated player for the Orioles. Mountcastle is going to hit you some home runs. I'm telling you, Mountcastle's going to hit you 23 to 25 home runs. He's going to hit about 265. And if the Orioles play as well as they did, Joey Gallo is going to hit under 200. So you got to stay away from Joey Gallo, even though I projected him to hit about 25 to 30. And there you go. That's the first base situation. You can stay off of first base for a while. Okay? You don't have to get a first baseman because there's only 4 or 5. And the rest of them, I don't know. Is there a difference? There's no difference in the rest of them, okay? Everybody's basically the same. Now, I do like Josh Naylor. I left him out. 20 home runs, another guy you could steal. Josh Naylor is going to hit you 25 home runs, okay? Josh Naylor. But Josh Naylor is going to bat, don't expect a lot, he's going to bat about 270. You can get Josh Naylor for single digits rather than spend the extra money for someone who's going to be better, but not that good. Okay? So again, first base, if you want one of the big guys, you're going to have to really reach and get him early. Okay? Let's move over to third base, okay? Because first, third, that's a big deal. All right? Let's move over to third base now, okay? Everybody good? Third base is good? Okay. Third, Austin Riley was mentioned. Austin Riley, in my opinion, is going to hit about 35 homers. He's going to get you over 100 RBIs. He's, look, you got Ramirez, you have Gunnar Henderson from Baltimore is a third baseman eligible. I just think that Gunnar Henderson is going to disappoint.
Don't tell Eddie that.
I'm sorry, Eddie. The numbers that are projected for Gunnar Henderson are too high. 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, and a 260 batting average. That's what most of the Star Dog, good morning. I say he's going to be less than that. Okay? So I say that Henderson is going to disappoint those who predict he's going to be a superstar. Manny Machado, on the other hand, he'll hit about 265. He'll get you 23, 25 home runs. So you see, he'll get you about 85 RBIs. He's just not a bad player. He'll steal you 5 bases. People are talking about Matt Chapman. He's a 240 hitter. But Matt Chapman's going to hit you some home runs. He'll hit you about 20 home runs. You got Royce Lewis, who's going to hit about 20 home runs as well. So, once again, now, Nolan Arenado playing in St. Louis. Keep an eye on him. People still spend money on Arenado. He's going to hit you 18 home runs. 18 to 20 home runs, bat 265. So don't spend the money on Nolan Arenado. Please, just don't do it. Rotorius, where'd you go? Star Dog, Timothy May Hooker. Oh, is this boring you? Okay. There you go. SM King Turd is here. Positive regression. A lot of stuff. Royce Lewis continues to be amazing. Okay, there you go. Josh Jung, another guy hit about 260. Josh Jung will hit you 20 home runs. So you see, in the power department, there's only a few that stand out. I'm looking for Yoan Moncada to hit about 250, hit about 20 home runs, and steal you, let's see. He'll steal you, Yoan Moncada is going to steal you, Brian Hayes will steal you 10 bases and hit you 25 home runs, but he'll only bat 260, so he's another third baseman. But who was I saying? Yoan Moncada, he'll hit you about 250, but he's going to only hit about 15 to 20 home runs. And that's the third base shot. So be very careful. You got a couple of standouts at first base. You got just a few more at third base. And just ain't easy, okay? Now for the second base position. I'm telling you that second base is loaded. And so is shortstop. There were some that think that shortstop is the... there you go, Leonard Donaldson is here. Good morning. There are some that say that shortstop could be the deepest position on the board. Deepest, okay? So as I said, in first base is the shallowest, but what happens there, it doesn't mean you have to get a first baseman quick if you want a big one, but everybody else is about the same at first base. It's really amazing that everybody else is about the same. Now at second base, the projections at second. Just hang in there with me, okay? I'll get it. I'll get it somehow. Somewhere, somehow, I'll get it. Once again, I got to do this without a computer. I have to do it without a computer because it's just not working. I don't know. I don't know.
You're on Fangraphs. Aren't you trying to do it from Fantasy Pros? Right
No.
Here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right here.
Is that where I am?
Third base.
Okay. Second base. Where's second base?
Right here.
Okay, second base. Okay.
Click it.
Okay, we're having a little technical problems. As I've told you many times, I do not memorize all this stuff, okay? So I got your first base and I got your third base. At second base, a little different, but we'll see.
It's stuck.
Okay.
Here.
There we go. It's stuck?
Yeah, the whole computer is stuck again.
Okay, we got some technical problems with the computer.
It's just...
Okay, the computer is down. So let's do it a little different. But you got an idea of what I'm doing, because I don't have an idea of what I'm doing.
Why is the computer doing this?
Chris from Cambridge, good morning. Okay?
All
right, I think we're back. I think we're back in line. Let's take a look. Let's see. And no, we're not back. Okay? We're close to being back, but we're not back. Go to the other one that I was on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay? Go to the other one. Go to second base. No data is available. Okay. All
This
right.
thing is just a nightmare.
A nightmare.
Fangraphs is what's wrecking your computer right now.
Oh, really? Well, what we're going to... There's a phone number. There's a phone call. Let's see who this is. All right. As I'm trying to work on it, we're saved by the one and only Mitch Harrington. What's up? Yeah. Okay. I'm.
Do you want to turn the speaker on so people can hear?
Yeah. Go ahead. No, I'm having some big problems today.
Tell them to repeat.
Okay. Could you repeat what you said? Sorry about that.
I said, I had a question for you while Andrew works on the computer.
Right.
And I'd throw it to you in the chat room and see what you guys think.
Go ahead.
Now, in a fantasy league, Lenny, where you say you are in a keeper league now, right?
Yes.
Keepers were due last week. Draft is Monday. So my question to you is, if somebody put in their keepers, we have two teams both in question, one keeping Garrett Cole, the other keeping Aaron Judge. So if you're keeping Garrett Cole or Aaron Judge, do you allow them to switch their keepers in a league? I mean, this is a highly competitive league with not a substantial buy-in, but a pretty big buy-in. I mean, do you go ahead and allow them to change it out if they'd like to?
Yes.
Hold on. Andrea says yes. Many others will say no. And that's why here's the situation. Every league is different. There's not just one rule for keeping those kind of keepers, okay? You have to decide with your league. And you explain it exactly like you explained it to me. And it's up to the league to make that decision.
Yep. We vote on everything. I just, in my head, right, one of the things I'm thinking is this should necessarily never happen. I mean, we've had the same league together for well over 20 years.
Right.
And this has never happened before where there's been like I try to leave like a 7-day window for people to plan for the draft.
Sure, that's why I'm saying we should all draft the Saturday before the season, all right? We should all, but still, when you have a situation, like I said, and I've said this a couple of times, make sure everybody knows the rules, okay? And once you get that straight, you're in good shape. So it's not what Lenny Melnick says, not what King Hap says. It's what the league says, and then nobody can argue.
What would your vote be, sir?
I would say leave it. I would say if you put in your keeper and you get an injury, it happened to me a couple of years ago. I put in Robin Ventura. He broke his leg, and I lost him. And that's what it is. But no, I don't think you're allowed to make a change.
The vote last night in the chat room during the Happy Hour Sports Spin was 3-1. No, just so you know, I figured I'd throw that out there.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, my man, and I hope you have a great weekend. We'll hear Fantasy Baseball Weekly with the Roto Lady tomorrow.
Yep,
and then
that's
Lady
right.
Legends Sunday, correct?
And we got the computer working again. You know, I don't memorize everything. You know. Thank you, King Hap. Okay.
Have a great day, boss. Talk soon.
Second base projections now. Let's see. I don't even know what time it is. Is it Wednesday yet? I have no idea.
9:30,
9:30. Okay, second base in the National League. You've got Mookie Betts, Ozzie Albies, Marcus Semien, Altuve. Now, Gleyber Torres is someone that has to be discussed. Gleyber Torres has been taking a beating. But Gleyber Torres is going to hit you 25 home runs. Whoa. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm still talking to King Hap. Gleyber Torres is going to hit you 25 home runs. He's going to bat about 275. He's going to steal 15 bases. So from a guy who was going to be cut, traded, Gleyber Torres is a star. Okay, you got that. On-base percentage will be about 340. And I'm not looking at anybody else's projections, by the way. These are my projections. And like I said, I listen to the radio for news. I have correspondents all over the country who've been with me for years. If something they hear during a game or if they read it in their local paper, I find out. I speak to some sports writers and stuff like that. But I basically do more homework than I think anybody doing projections. That's how it is, okay? So there you go. Nico Horner. Nico Horner's an interesting one. He can steal 30 bases. He's not going to hit a lot of home runs, maybe hit about 10 to 15. But Nico Horner's a good one, okay? Nico Horner can play both positions. Now, Andres Gimenez, I think he's a little overrated, okay? He's going to steal you some bases, maybe about 20. He'll hit you about 15 home runs. He's no big deal. No big deal for Andres Gimenez, and some people are talking Andres Gimenez like a star. Matt McClain from Cincinnati, who can also play two positions, is likely to hit about 15 home runs, a little less than most people say. Most of the projections for him are around 20. He's going to hit you about 260 over there. Christopher Morel, who's going to probably play third base. Now, he's going to steal you about 15 to 20 bases, okay? He's going to hit you. He's a sleeper, about 240, okay? So there you go. That's Christopher Morel. Ketel Marte, Arizona sick. Everybody talks about this guy, but what does he do? He's going to hit you 15 to 20 home runs. He's going to hit you about 270, and he's going to steal you less bases than most people think, probably under 10, okay? Under 10. Bryson Stott, whose name has become tremendous, but he's not going to have, right now he's having a great spring. Tone him down. Tone him down to about 15 to 20 steals, 12 to 15 home runs, okay? Bryson Stott. Don't go crazy with Bryson Stott. And finally, we got Zach Geloff, who's also he's going to hit you 20 home runs playing for Oakland. People don't know him. 2020 man, right here. Zach Geloff at second base. You doing good? How am I doing, everybody? Am I helping anybody? Okay, Jonathan India, I think, is going to be a disappointment. He'll steal you maybe 5 to 10 bases and hit you 5 to 10 home runs. I got him placed down there. Is there any other second baseman that you want me to talk about? Put it in the chat room. Or
why do you draft him so much if you don't like him?
Who?
India.
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes I get stuck with them, okay? There you go. SM. Anybody have any questions? All right, give me a call like King Hap just did, or put it in the chat room. Whoa, okay, there you go. Roto Lady's talking. Who else? Boston Paul, okay? Bryson Stott is nice for double-double, okay? That's what Brandon Rogers, amazing Met fan, Brandon Rogers, okay? Now, Brandon Rogers was a good, has been a good player. He's going to hit you about 275. He's going to hit you about 15. Brandon Rogers is Brandon. He's playing in Colorado. He's going to hit 15 with a possible 20. He's not going to steal you any bases, okay? But Brandon Rogers is Brandon Rogers, okay? He's not going to hit you a ton of home runs. He'll probably hit more than most people think. Most of the projections I see him about 15. I think he's going to hit about 20. He's going to bat 277. He's an endgame pick who won't hurt you, okay? Won't hurt you. Okay? Anybody? Justin Turner, okay? Justin Turner. Justin Turner's going to hit you about 260. Okay, he's going to hit about 10 to 15 home runs. Justin Turner is not going to be a big-time player. I would take him at the end if there's nobody else, okay? He's not going to steal a lot. He'll steal you about 2 or 3 bases. That's it. So Justin Turner, in terms of fantasy, is really not a big deal, okay? So you got Justin Turner. Anybody else? Anybody else? Drury.
Yeah, Brandon Drury. 25 homers.
Who says 25 homers?
For Brandon Drury?
20, Brandon Drury. 20, all right, so let's say, I say he's going to hit you low 20s, all right? I think 25 is his top. Absolutely. He's going to hit about 250. He's not going to steal any bases. But still, Brandon Drury is, he's Brandon Drury. That's what he is. These are mediocre. There's so many mediocre players that find your position that has a player that stands out. And while you're doing this, you have your category needs for home runs, stolen bases. Just do it for home runs and stolen bases, okay? That's it. You can't do RBIs and batting average, the whole thing, during the draft. Just keep track of your home runs and stolen bases. That'll put you in pretty good shape, okay? It's really all you can do. Ryan McMahon's another guy who people like. He's not going to steal. There's another guy who's going to hit you 23 home runs. He'll hit you 250. So you see what happens? And you'll have to pick your spots. That's why. If you're in a snake draft, it's easy. Just pick your player, okay? And most players, the auction is where you get bargains. That's where you really got to work. And just keep in mind, that's what you got to do. Now, at shortstop, that's what we're going to do. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? As we're going to the shortstop position now, okay? You got that? Going to shortstop. Let's see, okay? The top shortstop, of course, Mookie Betts is eligible for short. Now, I think it's Trey Turner. Some people think it's Bobby Witt, okay? Bobby Witt's projected. I don't think Bobby Witt is going to hit you 30 home runs, okay? I think Bobby Witt and Trey Turner will hit about the same, about 25 to 23. But Bobby Witt's going to steal 40. Trey Turner will steal 30. Witt's going to... they're very similar players. So, but the money is going to go on Bobby Witt. Okay? The money on Trey Turner is going to go down because he didn't last year. He didn't do what was predicted of him. So the money's going to be off on, I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. The money's going to be off on Trey Turner. So grab him, okay? As a matter of fact, Trey Turner is one of the guys who I think is very undervalued, okay? He could be the number one pick in the draft, in my opinion, okay? Trey Turner. Now, Gunnar Henderson, who is going to hit you about 250. He's going to get you about 20 to 23 home runs. You got Ellie De La Cruz. He's going to hit you about 15 to 20 with a 249 batting average. And who else? You got C.J. Abrams. How many stolen bases will C.J. Abrams get during the season? I predict 30. And that's pretty good. C.J. Abrams is right there. So anybody else that you want to talk about? Now, Trevor Story, in my opinion, is going to hit you about 25 home runs. I think Trevor Story, now everybody knows I like him, so let me say it. Trevor Story is going to hit you 25. Carlos Correa, another one undervalued. 260 batting average. He'll hit you about 25.
Okay, can I ask you a question from the chat room?
Yes.
King Turd is in his Rangers fans keeper league, and he is talking about trading Seager for Yamamoto. Who do you like most at shortstop among Gunnar Henderson, Ellie De La Cruz, Matt McLean, O'Neill Cruz, and Bichette? Do you want to hear him again?
No.
Do you like Ellie?
Well, I think Bichette's going to hit you 25 home runs and steal you 15, and hit close to 300. Ellie's going to hit you about 250. Who else is there? McLean, I think he's... O'Neill Cruz may be the guy.
Yeah.
Okay? He is, come on. He's going to hit you 25 home runs, hit you 250. So I'll go out on that limb, and I'll say O'Neill Cruz for Pittsburgh. No, actually, I'm going to say Bo Bichette.
What?
Yeah, Bo Bichette. What happened? He hit almost 300 last year.
Why? Because Cruz gets hurt.
No, because I think Bo Bichette put up the numbers already. He hit you what? He's going to hit you about 25 home runs, steal about 15 bases, and hit you close to 300. Now, it could be that others will do the same or better, but you can't predict it. You can predict Bo Bichette to do that because he's done it already, and he's a veteran. So I'll always go with that. Remember, I've said a rookie is a rookie, and that doesn't mean that rookies, all rookies stink, okay? What it does mean is that don't expect a rookie to meet up with his expectations. Now, Anthony Volpe is going to steal you about 25 bases and hit about 20 home runs, and he's very undervalued. Now, he's going to hit you about 230, but Anthony Volpe is going to hit about 20 home runs and steal 23 to 25 bases. Okay, you got that?
I don't think Volpe is on the list.
No, he's not on the list, okay?
You like him.
But I look, he's putting up the numbers, okay? I don't know what numbers he has in the spring, but I think that this is what he's going to do. Now, do we have time for outfielders?
It's 9:42.
9:42. We don't have time for the outfielders. We'll do that tomorrow, okay? We'll do the outfielders tomorrow. We're not going to cover the pitchers. We're going to do the outfielders tomorrow. on Saturday Sunday. We'll do the outfielders on Sunday with Andrea, and we'll cover the outfielders, okay? How's that? Anybody have any questions? No love for Lindor? Yes, I do have love for Lindor, but I haven't talked about every player, okay? Francisco Lindor, he could bounce back and have a nice season, okay? Francisco Lindor could hit you about 260. He'll steal 20 to 25 bases, and he'll hit you 25 to 27 home runs. Francisco Lindor. I mean, Corey Seager, Mookie Betts, Bobby Witt. Francisco Lindor may be about the 6th or 7th best at the game at shortstop. So I'm definitely considering putting him in there. Francisco Lindor, he's better than Henderson, better than the youngster Cruz, better than McLean, Bogarts, all these guys. Francisco Lindor is tops. He could be better than Bochette. The only ones Bobby Witt, Mookie Betts, Trey Turner, Corey Seager. That's it. After that, pick your spots, but I'm trying to give you a little clue. Thank you, Amazing Met fan. Thank you, Chris from Cambridge, Chris Gallo, Dad's a Premier. Now, over the weekend, we didn't cover outfielders because I made a mistake. I should have done this a couple of days ago, but we'll do more if Saturday morning. How's that? All right. I know Andrew's got Andrew. Andrew and I will do outfielders tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. We'll do that tomorrow before your Saturday night drafts. How's that? Okay. Or you could call me 631-406-7141. Whoa. Okay. We're moving along. Have a great draft. If your draft is over the weekend, again, because a lot of guys have drafts on Saturday night, we'll be doing outfielders tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. You gotta shut it off.
Okay.
Blah.